All right, let's get started here in about 15 seconds. All right, so we are live. And if you don't know who I am, obviously you can see my LinkedIn profile. But I wanted to talk about one of the biggest things that is plaguing our industry today is finding top talent, other than obviously finding supplies for material during COVID. So, James, our firm, Adams Limitless, hired by some of the largest and fastest growing residential commercial developers here across Ontario. And it's my job here to share with you and break down the biggest question that a lot of my clients are coming to me with is saying, James, we're struggling. We're really trying to find some talent. Can you help us out? But I wanted to give you a little bit of an illustration of the reason why you're not finding the right talent. The recruitment industry, the whole hiring game is actually been sorry, had a call coming in. So one of the reasons why this whole hiring ecosystem is setting us up to fail is, as a construction talent professional, I've interviewed over about 700 candidates over the course of my career, specifically within the real estate construction industry. We've heard their feedback, and what we're realizing and what we've gotten from a lot of these candidates' feedback is that a lot of the employers, when they're hiring, they realize and they understand are very reactive in this hiring process. And I 100% felt this was true because I get the calls all the time from my clients or soon to be clients when I engage with them, is they call me and say, James, we need a project manager. Our project manager just left. Or, hey, we need a site super. We're expanding so quickly and our business is gonna implode if we don't bring somebody on quickly. Our teams are overworked. I'm working 3 different jobs. I'm barely sleeping. It's affecting my relationship with my kids, affecting my relationship with my wife. We need support. We need more people. And the biggest challenge with this is we know the average recruiting cycle is about 45 days. So if I engage and intersect at the entry point of a reactive hire, that's where we make bad decisions. And that's where we set ourselves up for failure, which is why we're not finding the right talent. So let me illustrate something for you here pretty quickly that'll become abundantly clear. The reason why you're not finding the right talent is actually because you're setting yourselves up to fail without having the right hiring systems in place. So typically, the recruitment cycle of what most of the construction industry and what I've seen from my clients is like this. So we're gonna say, okay, great, we need to hire. We have to go out there, and what's the first step? Is to say, great, James, we need to bring on top talent. Let's go out and just attract them. Let's post the job board. Let's do whatever we can. Let's step one. Let's just go and attract them. Okay, this is what's happening right now in the industry. Number 2, we'll go for an interview. And number 3, you go through your selection process, hopefully find a hire, and then onboarding. So this is how the traditional game is played. I'm not sure if you guys can see that at all, but attract, interview, select, and onboard. That's traditionally how the game is played. Now, what's wrong with that? The big thing that's wrong with that is we're missing all of this stuff up here before we get to the attraction stage. That's why everyone is reactive in this hiring game. What do I mean by that? So let's take this same triangle and flip it on its head. Because this is something we've developed here at Adam's Limitless, which is called, actually, I have the figure of this. This is the strategy now. Flip this triangle on its head. What we get is a completely different model that a lot of our clients are missing and not utilizing in their hiring system because they don't have the right system in place. So what we have here at the base of this foundation is the assessment phase. Before we engage into a new hire, we need to come and we need to realize and have a strategy session saying, hey, where's your business at right now? What does this look like? One of our clients came to us, we did in our assessments, and in his residential construction company, we realized, okay, great. We realized your hiring system sucked. Plain and simple. So we have to assess and get a baseline of where you're at so we can build on top of that from there. Before we even get to the attraction stage, which is what most companies do when they just hire it, they fire it off to recruiters or fire it off to HR. At the second phase, this is where we get all the systems in place, is we assemble. Hopefully you guys can see this writing. Is we get to the assemble phase. So great, we got a baseline, we realize our hiring system suck, you're not attracting the right talent, candidates aren't sending you thank you notes, they're walking away from job offers. So let's figure out why. So this is where we assemble the job descriptions. I call them job invitations, something that's attracting the candidates inward. This is where you assemble your tech stack, utilizing the right tools and resources to source the talent. And then this is where we create your value proposition, your DNA scorecards, so we know exactly what we're looking for when we go to the market and attract. Because I had a candidate recently I interviewed, and she said, James, I just went on this interview a couple of days ago, and the employer didn't even know what they were really looking for. They didn't know what they were talking about. They were just like, yeah, I'm looking for a VP level position. I'm hoping they can do this, this, and this, and this. But they didn't really have a clear direction what that looked like. And she said to me, she said, it felt like they were just going through the interviews to try to figure out what they wanted based on the candidate. And I hear this a lot, by the way. A lot of clients go out there and they say, yeah, sure, let's just start sending me candidates and I'll figure it out along the way. And I look at them and I'm like, or over the phone, because can't really meet in person as much anymore. But I think to myself, do you have an extra 20 hours to hire? If you do, please send it my way. You're going to go through those, put yourself and through the candidates through that process, put them through the ringer to try to come out on the other end and get clear on the position. It's bogus. It's wasting your time. It's wasting their time. And not only that, it's actually tarnishing your brand. Because like this woman that I interviewed had a bad feeling about that candidate journey of that company. And she told me about it. So who else do you think she's telling? It's actually tarnishing your brand. So that's again, why you're not attracting the right talent is because you don't have this system in place. So candidates are leaving your candidate journey, your hiring funnel. They're leaving it saying either, yeah, yes, hell yes, that was an amazing experience. I know I maybe didn't get the job, but I had a really good conversation, or felt like I was of value through the whole process. Flip side to that is with this construction professional I went through, and she said, I think they were just using me for my knowledge, and they didn't really have it figured out yet. They were trying to figure it out through the process. It was clunky, and she felt like it was a waste of her time. Especially in construction, as we all know, it's a very small and close-knit industry, and this could spread like wildfire, tarnish your brand. And that's where you sometimes get the name of, oh, very high turnaround, your interview process sucks, and obviously you're not getting as much people who want to apply to that. So then when I engage at that point, and I say, hey, actually, I'll take on the search, going into the market, I'm fighting uphill. Candidates started saying, oh yeah, I heard that the company has this, this, and this, and this. And I've done it, and I've done it quite successfully, and be able to turn around that brand because we're an extension of your brand, and we have to change the narrative as to why, but I can't get there unless we assess where your hiring systems are, unless we assemble the right job descriptions, the right value proposition, the right systems in terms of, okay, who's going to be in this interview? Do they know what they're asking? And assembling all this on the top of it. Then, not until then can we get to this attraction stage. This is where we start building out our attraction strategy. This is where we start showing the marketplace who you really are and what that looks like because we've done the work on the uptake. So the attraction strategy you're probably already familiar with. Then we need to go into automation. This is something that is what we're creating and what we're developing is an automated system, an automated process to push your company's message, your company brand out there to the marketplace. Because the reality is you have a marketing team in your consultancy list that markets your products. It sells your homes. It sells your condos. So we want to do the same philosophy, but we want to market your people. We want to go out there and say, hey, this is why it's great to work with X, Y, and Z. Here's some testimonials of some employees that worked there. This is what it's like, and give an entire picture to sell your company. Think about how powerful that'd be in the marketplace, and nobody's doing it. So you get to the automation stage, and then obviously go through the interview process and have these systems set up, and then we decide who we're going to appoint in this position based on clear, let's have like spelled that right, based on clear data. We have the right job description, we have the right D&D scorecards, have all of the work done on the uptick. Say, hey, yes, this candidate is at least a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 on our scale. Boom, we're going to appoint them and hire them into our company. Last but not least is the final stage that is wildly underrated, is the acceleration stage. Acceleration stage, aka the onboarding phase. How many times have you landed in a job where there's like, yeah, here's your laptop, here's your phone, here's a project, a set of drawings. This is where we're at, figure it out. I don't care how good you are. If you're the Sidney Crosby or the Ovechkin of your industry, you're not going to succeed. You'll succeed for a very short period of time, but because those systems are not set up in place, you don't know where the CEO's vision is going, you don't know the clear expectations. So the acceleration phase is all about a proper 90-day game plan, showing them the career growth path with this company in 3, 5, 7 years, if they stick it out. This is about casting the vision now and into the future. So that is the acceleration process. So over here is the traditional method of recruiting, where, yes, this is what you're currently doing. You're attracting, you're trying to go up to selection, but you're missing the assemble and the assessment phase, which is a huge key ingredient before you even go out to attracting. So this recruitment method that you're doing right now is why you cannot attract talents is broken. It just is. That's why you're not getting candidates that really want to apply to your jobs. Here, I'll move this closer, see if you can see. It's broken. This method no longer works. You're wasting time and time again and going to cause tons of mishires. The average cost of a mishire for your company is 5 times that of the candidate's salary of indirect and direct costs. 5 times. So if it's a $100,000 position, you just cost your company $500,000. So this is what Adam's Limitless is all about. This triangle right here is the new way of recruiting And it's called our recruitment reimagined system, our hiring system that we're going to go in and build out for you and your company. Pretty powerful, eh? So what happened is, getting into this industry, had a passion to figure out this hiring game, and still have a passion to figure out this hiring game. But I constantly went through different clients and different construction companies that were super reactive. And I'd go through the search and I'd get them the best person. I'd find them the unicorn, the amazing type of individual, got them exactly what they wanted. They hired them. No more than 6 months later, they were gone. 500 G's. And they were gone not because of the company, but because the candidate. That's the interesting thing. When you hire A players, they need to be surrounded by other A players to keep them around. So they sniffed it out pretty quickly. Within 6 months, they were gone. So this frustrated the hell out of me. After hiring over almost, I did the numbers there the other day, I've hired 102 construction professionals. 102 construction professionals just in Ontario alone, and gone through over 700 interviews. 700 interviews in my career. I looked at these numbers and I was like, holy shit. What is missing here? Why is this not working more? How do we make this better? How do we make hiring easy and an enjoyable experience for both the client and the candidate through the entire process? So I had a client come to me and said, James, we need to figure out our value proposition because we keep getting counter offers. Our candidates aren't getting accepted. The candidates are realizing it's a reactive hiring process, is a long drawn out thing. Our hiring teams and our hiring managers aren't on the same page. So they don't know who this person is going to be reporting to. It's all discombobulated. So he's like, I need some help. And that's when it hit me. So many of you are running a construction business because you're builders, you're developers. You love to build things. And I love to build hiring systems. So when we combine both of our efforts, this is what we get. You get to stay focused on building and building out our communities and doing great at what you're doing. But we need to build systems and hiring systems in place so we can attract the right talent to you, where candidates are sending you thank you letters after every interview saying, that was an incredible experience. Tom, that was an incredible experience. John, so grateful. I know it didn't work out for this position. Keep me in touch for the next one. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And they're telling their friends and family about it. I went through this incredible interview process. The company is great. I'm excited about it. And that creates a huge wave in the marketplace for your construction company. But if you're going to continue to do this and be reactive in the hiring process, it's not going to work. So reach out to one of our senior recruiters on our team. Reach out to me here directly. Happy to give you the run through of the recruitment reimagined system and flip on a switch so you can make hiring easy. But here's the reality. We're a boutique executive search firm. We're not a massive entity yet. So I can only take on 10 construction companies that really want to take their hiring game and talent attraction game to the next level. 10. That's it. So this will be something you have to apply to, because I can't take everyone. So definitely get in touch with me, shoot me a message, give me a call, open book, because I am committed to solving this hiring issue. No more will you ever get a call from a candidate that says I'm not accepting the job. Because when we build this out, you have your value proposition, you have your grand slam offer, and you have all of this built in that is stacks on stacks and stacks, and it makes an irresistible offer for the candidate to come into your company. Now, obviously, you have to deliver. Like I said, I can only bring in the unicorns. You still have to deliver on the other side, but I need to hedge my bets. And I need to make sure that when we work with you and you apply to this program, we're going to be assessing and auditing your entire systems to make sure that, yeah, I can find it. You set up all this work, but make sure you got to be able to keep them long term. So have an awesome Monday. Stay warm out there. And as always, be bold.